Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey. I'm a graphic designer, and today I'm going to help you learn how to become a graphic designer in 2021. There are so many different ways you can do this, and I really love talking to people that want to get into this industry because I think there's so much opportunity. And so today I'm going to cover with you my background so I can share what I kind of went through to become a graphic designer, different types of designers that there are that you could become, the different programs that you should be aware of when being a designer, your portfolio that you'll need to create in order to be a graphic designer, how to get clients, which is the real key in being a graphic designer. So this could be something that you want to take on full time, that you're ready to do, or this could be something you want to start doing as maybe a side hustle. Like I said, I'm a graphic designer. I usually say that I'm a brand designer, but I really cover a lot of different roles in the design area. I went to school for graphic design for 4 years at a university where I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts in graphic design, and communication design was what I specialized in. And while I was in school, I was just constantly doing internships. So I did marketing internships, and I did advertising agency internships, and I did in-house internships, and I really was just getting that different experiences to help build my portfolio, which is really key. And then now currently I work at an in-house creative studio, and then I also do a lot of designing on the side because it's really fun to have a further creative outlet. And that's really where I've just been learning along the way. So going to school for it really has helped obviously kick off my design career, and then just having more and more pieces to put in my portfolio helps me grow as a designer. Okay, I get asked all the time if you need to go to school for graphic design. This is really debatable. Obviously, I went to school for graphic design and it really helped me because I learned so many different fundamentals for art. I had art history courses. I learned about each different types of design. I learned the actual different mediums that you have to know when being a designer. So I took painting classes, I took calligraphy classes, I took print screen classes, I took just photography classes. So it really helped me become a all-around great creative person, I would say, and helped me kind of secure the path I wanted to go down. But I think that you don't have to go to design school. Obviously, you need to have a creative background, but there are so many different types of design, and as long as you can learn the key fundamentals and know that there's so much more than just creating a simple logo within graphic design, I think that you can succeed in it. And so if you want to go back to school to get a graphic design degree, I think that is great. I think employers will really like that for sure. But if you want to get a certificate, you could also do that, which is an accelerated program, or you could also self-teach yourself. So this would be using, obviously, like YouTube to learn more about graphic design. It could be using Skillshare, it could be using Masterclass. There are so many opportunities to learn graphic design besides going to school. So it's really what you put in and what you know would be best for you as an individual. There's so many different types of designer that you could be, and sometimes you'll be all in one. It really just depends on your role. Sometimes you'll just be siloed down one certain path. And so I want to talk about a few of these different designers that you could be. I, of course, said that I relate as being a brand designer, and I also talk about being an illustrator a little bit. And mostly I look at brand design because I do a lot of things around strategy. I do a lot of things around creating logos and brand marks and an identity for a business. And so that's where a brand designer fits in. Then you also have UX design, which is helping user experience, and this relates a lot with app design, with web design, and it's much more strategic in the visual space online. So that's a different area that you really do need to learn a lot to get into. Then there's also illustration. A lot of people are developing illustrator skills as They have Procreate and an iPad to use, and so that's a great one if you're planning to self-teach yourself. There's also web design, and so this could be either being a full-on developer and knowing how to code completely and also design at the same time, or it could just be that you design web templates because you don't necessarily have to be a developer to do web design. But those are just a few different types of designers that you can become. And like I said, I often do a little bit of each. I learned all the different areas in art school, but I mostly like to focus on brand design because that's what I found I enjoy the most. Programs, there's so many to choose from. Obviously, you'll hear a lot about Adobe. The Adobe Creative Suite is great. There's so much in there to learn. My favorite is Adobe Illustrator. If you're just starting out, I would recommend learning that program. But basically that is just helping you create different brand marks and digital elements, and it's a great program when you're creating vector graphics. There's also Adobe Photoshop, which a lot of people have heard of with graphic design, and that is a raster-based program. That's great for having images and creating digital elements as well. There's Adobe InDesign, which is great for creating publications and laying out different things. So often I'll use that for creating a presentation if I'm going to create some type of booklet, something along the lines of that. Then there's also Adobe Lightroom, which is great for editing photos, which is really common with all types of people to use right now. Then there is Adobe Premiere, which is awesome for editing videos. There's Adobe After Effects, which is great for learning motion graphic design and creating different types of animations. And those are the main ones I use out of Adobe, but there's so much more. They're creating new programs basically every single day. There's ones that relate with web design, with app design and prototyping and things like that. So it's really just kind of up what you want to learn. But again, I would say the main three that I use are Illustrator, InDesign, and Photoshop. Then there's also Procreate, which has changed the game for graphic design. This is awesome because you can really just design right on your iPad. This is a one-time fee program, which is great too. So you only pay $10 one time, but of course you have to have the iPad and Apple Pencil, and you're able to design. This is what I see a lot of people doing as a full-time side hustle, is they're just learning how to use Procreate and then they're selling different illustrations off of that. Then there's also different web design platforms that you can learn. So I use Squarespace a lot, which is great for designing and creating a shop for different clients. And I use Showit. Showit is great when you want to create different web design templates. A lot of people become designers specifically for that platform so they can sell it to brands and they can buy it from them, or they can also just create custom Showit websites for different clients. And there's Wix, which is pretty common, but most designers don't use it as much because it has more limited capabilities than the other two platforms. I talked a little bit about portfolio, but this is the most important key component. When being a graphic designer, you need to have an awesome portfolio. So I host mine on a website platform where I just have different services listed, my resume essentially, meeting me, and then different types of work I've done. This is great to showcase to clients, to showcase to prospective employers. It is really what makes or breaks it. So you don't have to put in work that you've only been paid for. You can create your own projects. If you're getting paid for work that you don't necessarily want to continue your career path down with doing, you can start developing your own different projects. That's what a lot of people do. So you could put in work from different classes. You could also put in work that you're just coming up with on your own. And so if you want to start doing a whole logo and brand development for clients, create a client that you can do that for, or maybe find someone that you'll offer to do it for free for, and then you can develop more clients along the way. But having a portfolio is where a client decides if they want to hire you or not. And this is what I would say all employers and clients look for. I've never had anyone actually ask for my design degree, they just asked to see my portfolio. So that's where it really depends on if you want to be self-taught or if you want to go to formal school for it. It just matters how your portfolio looks like at the very end. Okay, so basically once you've really learned all those different aspects, our ultimate goal is for you to get work, right? So I like to get work through different social platforms. So Instagram has been great with developing a community, and people reach out to me all the time on that. I've also have a lot of word of mouth, and so this essentially started by, I did a project for someone that had a great audience following, and I developed a whole brand and look for her, and then in return she shared so much about my services and offerings and basically encouraged people to reach out to me, which has been a great resource. So you can ultimately build a following from word of mouth and getting clients that way. You can also go on Pinterest and share your graphics. That's a really common way for a lot of people to learn where they can reach graphic designer. And then you just want to have that backed and linked to your portfolio or your services or your website or wherever they can really reach you at. There's also just different platforms. You could be putting your services on Creative Market, where you sell your illustrations and different presentation packs or different elements you've designed. Etsy, which is really common. That is basically it on how to get work. So again, if you want to get into an area of design, but maybe you don't know how to get your first paying client, I would create a project that you can share, and then people will want to work with you because of a similar project as mine. So if you want to work with a coffee shop, then I would create a coffee shop look, and then other people could see, wow, that's what you do, and that you offer that as a service. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this helped you, and I hope that you're going to become a graphic designer in 2021 because there is so much opportunity within it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, leave a comment below. You can reach me on Instagram, you can reach me on my website, wherever you can find me. Go ahead and ask me your question. I'm always happy to help and always happy to connect and talk more about graphic design in the creative world. So please like this video and subscribe if you found it helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.